Hello. Instead of an actual video, this is going to be a slideshow presentation of the creation of this piece that you see called Metamorph. This came about as a challenge from our woodturning club to create a piece from a 3x3 by 8 inch long piece of ash. I decided to use segmentation techniques to change the whole geometry around to this piece that you see here. It's about 7 1/4 inches in diameter and about 2 1/4 inches tall. And let's begin. To begin, I cut the piece as you see here. The small piece on the bottom is going to be the foot. The other 4 pieces will become the rings. Each of those pieces will be cut in half, as you'll see next. And those halves are clearly not actually a half. The diagonals are going to be general reference lines, but the next cut is going to give me the pieces you see here. The 4 on the left will be the larger ring, the 4 on the right will be the smaller ring. The next cut will give me my base. As you can see, I've just rounded it off. This is going to be the foot, and it's the only part that will actually show end grain. This will be mounted, as you see here, on the waist block of the faceplate. This will receive the small ring first and then the large ring. Here you'll see I've got a small fixture made that holds them at the 45-degree angle necessary for each piece to be cut. This fixture holds the pieces so that I can cut them without getting my fingers anywhere near the blade, and will cut both the large and the small pieces. Here you see some of the pieces lined up after they've been cut. These will form 8 segment rings for the large and small ring. Here you can see now that I'm gluing them on this glue block. I've got a video on YouTube showing this gluing board actually in play, and you can see I've got the holders cut so that they hold the pieces as I want them. Here you can see where I've glued 2 of the pieces together. Those are the ones near the left side. The other pieces are applying the pressure. I've got a piece of veneer in between each one of the segments. Here you can see one of the rings completely assembled. This is the small ring. This will go onto the foot first. And as you can see next, I've got the large and small rings laid side by side. The large ring is yet to be glued together. The small ring is done. Here you can see the small ring again, and I'll mount this next onto the foot after I've sanded the bottom smooth. Here you see I've rounded it off, and if you look carefully you can see the piece that has 3 and 4 on it right at the top is taller than the other ones. That won't be a problem. Here you can see I'm ready to glue it onto the foot after I've faced off the foot on the lathe. And here you can see I've just got a weight on it while the glue sets. When this is ready, I will put this on the lathe and turn that surface smooth. You can see clearly how the one section is taller than the others. You saw that when I had the 4 pieces cut side by side. Again, that won't be a problem. I'm going to face it off next, and that will give me the smooth surface for the next ring to be applied to. Here's another really clear image showing that ring has a very thick section. But like I say, cutting it very accurately wasn't that important. Here now it's been faced off, and you can see I've made all those surfaces level, and everything is smooth and flat, ready for this ring, which is the larger ring. I've got it marked already to be rounded off on the bandsaw. And here you can see I've got it cut on the bandsaw, and I'll be facing the bottom off on just a belt sander just to make that flat so that it can go onto the ring that we just turned on the lathe. Here you can see that it's mounted on the piece that was on the lathe. It's just dry fit just to make sure that everything's coming out as I wanted. You can see I've got it almost like a counter rotating turbine wheel effect on there, and that's what I wanted to get. And here you can see where I've glued it on. I've got a weight again pushing down on it, and I'll let that take a full set before I put it onto the lathe. Here it's on the lathe, it's ready to be turned and finished. This will be the final complete piece. And as I give you another view, you can again see that thick segment. Actually, there's two of them. This is going to now be shaped and formed completely into the final piece. And here it's just about done. This is looking at the bottom side, so you can see how I've got that reverse flare on the top lip. And here's from the top side, still on the lathe, but with no finish on it. It looks fairly good this way, but when I put the finish on it, you can see how it really makes the grain pop. And this is just a nice gloss tung oil finish, which works really well on that nice ash. Now you can see the cold jaw grippers that I also make coming into play, particularly useful on a piece like this with that rollover top lip. And if you look at this view here, you can see what I'm talking about, how those grippers being taller hold that top lip. Well, that's how the piece was constructed and built, and again, this is the final view of it. I hope you enjoy it, and take one on yourself and give it a shot.